Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new, I'm so glad that you are here. Put your name down below and tell me what state you're coming in from. And for those who come all the time, I appreciate you. Today, y'all, do you see this? Do you see this? Now, if you've been around, you know when I have this, you know what it means. Today is garlic harvest day. Today we are going to harvest all of our garlic. I'm in the back of my house, which is where I do my garlic. We have 2.5 beds of garlic. I cannot wait to see what our harvest looks like this year. And so I'm going to walk through on this video the harvest, and I'm also going to remind you, if you did not see me plant this garlic, I'll put the video up here where I actually planted this 7 months ago. So I planted this garlic in October, and today is harvest day for the garlic. So if you are new here, excuse me, or if you're new to garlic, let me just first explain why I'm harvesting garlic, and it's almost June, and why it took 7 months and all that. So if you're brand new to garlic, garlic is it is the easiest crop to grow, because literally you put it in the ground and you don't have to worry about it once you put it in the ground. It takes care of itself. So you plant your garlic in the fall and you harvest your garlic in the summer. It has to go through what we call a vernalization period. It has to go through a period of cold dormancy. So that's why you plant it in the fall before it gets too cold in your area. And then once it gets cold, then it does its thing underground. And then once the spring comes, you'll start to see shoots and all that. And then the last thing that you'll see is 2 to 3 weeks before it's time to harvest, you will see a garlic scape. And I've talked about that before and shown that on previous videos. The scape is actually the flower of the garlic. The scape comes up through the center, and that's letting you know that it is almost time. You want to harvest that scape, and you can use it in your cooking as a culinary delight. But when you harvest that scape, it sends a message to the garlic bulb to grow bigger, 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 and it puts its energy into growing a bigger bulb versus a smaller bulb. So you definitely want to harvest your garlic scapes. But usually about 3 weeks after that, it is time to harvest the garlic. Also, you'll notice that it's time to harvest the garlic when the leaves are brown near the bottom and green near the top. And again, I tested one yesterday. And I don't have as much brown, but I do have some brown, and it's been 2 to 3 weeks. But today is the day. It's happening today. Could I wait another week? I could, but I'm not going to. Right? And I tested one yesterday and pulled one, and it was a very, very nice size. So this is our bucket that we're going to put our garlic scapes in. By the time we get done with this bucket, it's going to be ultra heavy. Then my husband will have to come out here and get it. And I'll tell you, once we harvest the garlic, I'll tell you what happens after that and what we're going to do with it. But for now, let's go over to the first bed and harvest our 2024 garlic. Oh, let me tell you what varieties we did. So it rained again today, shocker. And now the sun is out in full force. Like, it is beaming down full force. But in terms of the varieties of garlic that we planted this year, so I did a familiar favorite that I've done for the last 2 years. It's absolutely my favorite, which is Georgian Crystal. But then I added a lot of new varieties this year. I added Spanish Roja, I added Russian Giant garlic, and then Montana White garlic. I think that's the name of it. It seems like there's another one. I'll look on my phone and see. And I had tags, but I don't know if the tags are still there because it's been like 7 months. But we will see if the tags are still there, but it don't matter. We're gonna have some garlic. And then also I ordered my garlic from Mad River Garlic Growers. I have been using them for the past 3 years and I have nothing but great success. Mad River Garlic Growers. So if you want to get your garlic order in for the next fall, I usually make my order usually around the end of July, August, and then it'll come and I'll plant it in either October or November. I like planting it in October so that I can go ahead and harvest it around this time, because we got space that we need to use once this garlic comes up. We need to we need to plant some more stuff. So that's why today we're going to harvest the garlic. So let's go over to the first bed. It's amazing how much the sun is beaming down. And so this bed right here was like, when I say the leftover garlic, I had planted the other 2 beds first, and then I still had garlic left over, so I put it here, and it just took up 1 row. So we're going to harvest this row first, and then we'll do the 2 full beds. And so it looks like I do have a tag here. Oh, I must have used a Sharpie and not my garden marker, because look, the tag is there, but it's gone. And so note to self, always use a garden marker, because it The garden markers that you get, like that's in my shop from Amazon, it protects against like the light and the UV, and the name would still be there. When you use a Sharpie, it doesn't stay. So, oh well, so much for that. But let me show you the one I had harvested yesterday just to see if it was ready. So this is the one that I harvested on yesterday. It is a pretty nice size, I think. And because I see the red striping, I'm thinking that maybe this is the Spanish Roja. I don't know. But let's go ahead and finish doing this row right here. So garlic is pretty easy to harvest. You just literally just wiggle it around and then pull it up. Shake it off. Look at that. Pretty nice size of garlic. Just like that. Let's keep going. Oh yeah, looking great. OMG, looking good, y'all. Looking fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. That is huge, y'all. I don't even know if the camera is doing it justice, but that's a big old bulb of garlic, and I am here for it. Okay, we got 3. Let's keep going. To me, there is something so satisfying about harvesting, but especially harvesting root crops or things that grow below the ground, because you just don't know what you're going to get because you don't see all of it on top of the ground. So pulling something out and just seeing how big it is, and then just that tug where it releases, it is exhilarating, absolutely exhilarating. So I'm very happy so far with how this bed is looking. Okay guys, so this is probably the smallest one out of this bunch, and this is still a good head of, I shouldn't say head, a bulb of garlic. It's still a pretty nice size, as you can see there, and that's the smallest one. So we just got 12 garlic from here in this one row, but then y'all, we got 2 more beds. So it is all right here. Here is probably the biggest one. You can see it's like taking up my entire hand. Okay, so let's go to the other 2 beds and let's get the rest of the garlic. So you guys can see we got that second bed done. We're gonna move on to the 3rd bed. So this bed that I just harvested was all Georgian crystal. I ordered the most of that. So total, in terms of garlic, I ordered 3.5 pounds, and that was enough to fill up 2 beds in one row. That was Georgian crystal. I could see the faintness of me writing on the label. This next bed here, I'm not sure what it is, because that's the one that's actually, that's another one that's actually marked off, and I'm like, man, I hate that I don't know. I did try by labeling, and actually in my notes I had put what I put in this bed that was Georgian crystal. I had actually notated that in my notes, but I didn't notate the other beds. But hey, you win some, you lose some. But let's do this last bed, and we'll count up how much garlic we have. Okay guys, all the 2024 garlic is harvested. we got it done. We got it done. So let me talk to you about what happens now that I've harvested garlic. And also I want to address something that I said earlier. I told you that it rained. And so let me just clear this up because I don't want you to do what I do all the time. So ideally, it is not ideal to harvest the garlic after a rain because the garlic is wet. But you guys know it has been raining here for literally the past 30 days. Just about every day. We may have had 2 days of sunshine with no rain, but it has been raining nonstop. So I want to make sure that I prevent root rot and it being so moist. And then also this was the time that I could do it based on my schedule. So if I had more time in my schedule, then I would have ideally waited until it was dry, maybe 3 or 4 days, and then harvested it. This is the first time I've ever done it like this, but y'all, the rain don't seem like it want to let up. So that's why I harvested. But just so that you know, that's not ideal. So what I will do from here is, and this is what you would do even if you harvest it when it's dry, you have to let garlic cure if you want to store it. Now, if I wanted to go ahead and use a bulb right now, I can go in there, take off the outer layer, rinse it off, and then chop up the garlic. It is good to eat right now. But I want to store my garlic for long term. And usually I will store my garlic and it'll last me, from a storage standpoint, I would say at least to the end of the year in terms of before it starts to like try to grow another garlic and all of that good stuff. So that's a good, 7 or 8 months. In terms of me, if this is being enough garlic to last me a whole year, it's not usually enough garlic to last me the whole year. It'll usually get me to maybe February or so. And then I'll have to buy garlic from the store. Like I've bought garlic. Let's see. I think one time I bought a bag from Sam's that was already peeled. And I still have that. So that's not too bad. And do I want to grow a whole nother bed? I don't know that I want to dedicate another bed just to get me to the time I can have garlic again. It's not that big of a deal to me. But in terms of if you want to store garlic, you want to take it and put it in a cool, dry, well-ventilated area for about 3 weeks. What's going to happen is that the outer papers of the garlic is going to harden. Right now, it's really, really soft. So that's why you don't want to really rinse it. Like I'm shaking off the dirt as I pull it up, but I'm not rinsing it because again, moisture is gonna can lead to root rot or mold and things like that where your garlic won't store properly. So for me, I'm going to either put it in my garage or I'll take it to my root cellar as long as it's a well ventilated, cool, dark place. You don't want to leave it out in the sun and bright sunlight and all of that. And in about 3 weeks, the green part that you see, the part at the top, it will start to get brown and papery and crinkly, and it's drying out. And so once it's dried out and the papers are hard, then you can snip the top off and then you can store it as regular garlic. And like I said, for me, this is hard neck garlic. It'll store for me at least a good 7 or 8 months, and I just keep it in my root cellar. So that's kind of how you do that. So just make sure when you do your garlic that you follow those protocols when it's time to store it. But y'all, in terms of like the harvest I got, I think we got almost 90 bulbs of garlic. And of course, the bulbs have several cloves in them. And I would say 75% of them are big like I showed you. And then 25% are on the smaller side, probably what you would get at your local grocery store. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it at all. And again, I hate that I don't know the varieties, but I know that my Georgian Crystal, I know that she showed up and showed out for sure. And I think the Spanish Roja with the red, that's the only one I think I got with like a red striping. That was a good one. So if that is definitely the case, of course, I would do Spanish Roja and Georgian Crystal again. The Montana White and the Russian Garlic, those are not as big. They're in there somewhere, but that's the bed that's not as big. Then I'm wondering, again, did I have them too close together? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It don't matter. I got garlic. So I hope that this kind of gave you some tips on garlic. And don't go out there trying to plant your garlic now in June. It's not going to work, right? You want to plant it in the fall and harvest it in the summer. But thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you have questions about garlic, put them down below. I'll be happy to answer them and share with you my experience. But remember, y'all, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.